guys. This is going to be a trial run. I just am so not motivated to type up a blog post today. So I'm going to try to do a video post. Hopefully this is something that the website lets me do. I was trying to come up with, what should my blog post be this week. And I have decided I am going to delve into a deeper explanation for why I quit Mary Kay. And for anyone who still sells Mary Kay that I worked with or anything, I want to start this video with a disclaimer. No shade thrown to you at all. None whatsoever. I have a lot of Mary Kay friends that I still, love dearly. They're great. And, obviously their choice of direct sales company is not something I'm going to judge them on. But I'm going to delve into why I left Mary Kay, why I don't recommend it as a company. I mean, I know there's a lot of people that obviously have done well, like Pink Cadillacs do exist, they're out there. There are people, I know our number one sales director, ours if I'm still doing Mary Kay, I know the number one sales director, Gloria Mayfield Banks, is making on average like 70 something thousand a month. I mean, obviously that is exciting. I don't like how you get there though, because I mean, okay. So one of the first big things obviously is ingredient quality. I mean, my mom raised me all organic and everything, right? Like, in my earlier years, it wasn't a big deal, but then she started to, really focus on, obviously, health being a big thing. So we started eating all organic. Hi, kitten. We started eating all organic. She, tried to cut a lot of gluten out of our lives. We started eating a lower sugar diet and everything like that. And, I mean, and it went really well, actually. I was one of the healthier kids in my grade. I rarely ever got sick and everything, and I actually enjoyed it. I mean, you could taste the quality difference, like in an organic burger versus like, a cheap fast food McDonald's burger. Like, it tasted really, really good. Obviously pricey, but good. And then, I went off to college and everything, and, I mean, one thing I knew when it came to skincare and lotion and stuff like that is I could not wear parabens. Parabens, I didn't know a lot about them. All I knew is that if I used products that contained them, after about the second or third day of use, I started to break out in these, like, it looked like mosquito bites, like hives. They would start on my wrists and ankles, my extremities, and then work their way, like, into my core. And first I have to identify what the problem was, because we didn't know that I was allergic to parabens yet, so I would have to figure out, like, what have I started using new recently? Why am I breaking out? And so we finally, narrowed it down to if the product contained parabens, because even if it contained a bunch of other chemicals, as long as it didn't have parabens, I could wear it. But these itchies, guys, were awful, and even once I identified what the problem was and I cut it out of my life, like, it took 2 weeks for the itches to finally clear away, and in the meantime, like, I'm miserable. Like, these itches were toxic. Like, I'd wake up in the middle of the night itching them. It was awful. So again, I didn't really know a lot about parabens at the time, but I knew I couldn't wear them. But anyways, so obviously I go off to college and everything, you can't really eat organic in college. I was on a meal plan, so I'm eating, the dining hall food. And then, I moved back home. Things were rough with my mom, so I moved out. I was living in this girls' housing program. Then, I get married, moved down here. We're on a newlywed, millennial budget, that kind of thing. So we weren't really eating organic or anything like that. And then, a good friend of mine started selling Mary Kay, so I, joined and stuff. And I think obviously, like, I was excited about that pink Cadillac dream, the whole, like, be your own boss, be a pink lady, make as much money as you want, drive the pink Cadillac. And it was the first time in my life that I'd actually really started to use any sort of skincare routine, so I really enjoyed that. I loved that feeling of pampering my face and stuff like that. And so I think that was the biggest, like, kind of draw for me, was just, like, that feeling of, like, prestige and everything like that. It's hard to say now because obviously, like, I'm biased, but I'm trying to sit here and think, like, did I actually, like, I mean, I think yeah, I enjoyed the job for, to a certain extent. But, I couldn't wear a lot of the products because of paraben ingredients. And I'm like, this kind of sucks. Like, the mainstream skincare set that Mary Kay sells is the Miracle set, which is the type of skincare set that I recommend to my peers because of the type of age of our skin would be, what they would wear. They have no need for the, like, more expensive high-end sets for the really heavy anti-aging, because obviously, I mean, in your early 20s, you don't need, like, a chemical formula for, like, women that are, like, 50 plus. Plus more expensive because, heavier sort of anti-aging formula. But that was the only set I could wear because it was the only skincare set that was paraben free. Like, even their botanical set that's supposed to be, made from plant extracts, I couldn't wear because parabens and chemicals. And it's like, okay, what about this is actually botanical, but okay. Even their foundations and stuff like that had parabens in them. Again, I still don't really know the negative side effects of parabens. I just knew, not so good for me. And so, I don't know. One day I was just kind of sitting there, and I'm like, I wonder, if there's a line that does, because I was enjoying the direct sales, I was enjoying setting my own hours and everything, and I'm like, but, I can't really sell these products, I can't wear half of them, I'm not super passionate about it. I mean, it feels nice to clean my face, but it's not like I have to have these in my arsenal. Like, I wasn't really seeing, like, amazing overnight results. I mean, my skin was clean and hydrated, but it wasn't like, I felt like I looked in the mirror and I was like, oh my gosh, my skin looks fab, or anything like that. I don't know what I was expecting, but I wasn't really, getting that. I didn't really see any sort of change in my skin. Cat, what are you doing? Sorry. Okay, sounds like he's really getting into something. Cat, get out. Oh, guys, he's stuck. Okay, sorry about that. And so I sat down and I did some research, right? I'm like, okay, I know my mom raised me organic. I like organic. I wonder if there's such thing as organic skincare, and if there is, if it's in direct sales form. So I sat down, I did some research, and I found Neal's Yard Remedies. And so I actually did a lot of research too about, finding articles of did people leave Mary Kay and why and stuff like that. Now, what is he doing? This cat is nuts. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to be professional. And so I found a lot about the company, some nitty-gritty details, things I really didn't like. But anyways, right now we're talking about ingredients. So I found Neal's Yard Remedies, contacted my closest leader, found Sue that way. And then we sat and we talked about, chemicals and ingredients and stuff like that. And the more I learned and the more I did research on, like, the type of ingredients and stuff like that and chemicals and everything, the more I was like, Mary Kay is not doing some things right. And there had actually been one point that I had contacted Mary Kay, the company, and said, like, hey, I'm a consultant, I'm trying to sell this stuff, but I can't wear half of it. Do you guys have any plans to, change your formulas to take out parabens? And it's really not hard to change formulas to take out parabens. All parabens do is really, like, extend shelf life. That's really the only purpose they have, is they're a chemical preservative. And there are plenty of products you can find that are paraben free that work just as well. So there's no absolute need to have the parabens in the products. And their response was very, curt, very short. It's like, no, we're not changing it, Kind of, I mean, they didn't say deal with it, but wasn't pleased. And they even have an entire section, like there's a training tab in the back office, right? And this training tab, like, there's, different things, like talking about, like, just like different training topics. And then parabens was its very own topic. And it was interesting because, like, I really didn't like the type of training they gave on it, because they recognized that parabens were controversial, they recognized that people didn't like them, and so this whole video even of just, like, why parabens aren't bad, like, don't believe people, blah, 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 it's a conspiracy theory. And I'm like, okay, that's really not sensitive to the people that, really genuinely don't enjoy parabens. I personally, whether they're good or bad, cannot actually physically wear them. And they actually have a really, really high allergy rating, guys. Sorry, I know this video is kind of long, but they have a really high allergy rating. Like, they're an extremely common, skin allergy. Even people that aren't necessarily sensitive skin, like, it's rated really high for allergens. Parabens are. And, I really didn't like their training on parabens, and the fact that they had to devote an entire section just to parabens, like, that's kind of interesting, right? But, they in this section they had a video and like, you know, scripts to use. Basically, if someone approaches you, says like, hey, parabens are bad, like what do you have that are options that, you know, I can do paraben free. Like, we do have some options, so we're supposed to recommend that, but we essentially are supposed to like not even listen to that concern at all. Like, basically, in the nicest way possible, just be like, you don't know what you're talking about, parabens are fine, I'm the skincare expert here, like, you'll survive by these products. And I'm like, I don't like that at all. I don't like that kind of attitude. I really, and a lot of the training is like that. Like, I get, you know, if you were to take every single no that came your way and just accept it, like, you would lose out on a lot of business. Like, there are things, you know, where you can turn no's into yeses, but I feel like not listening to concerns and just blowing them over is not a good way to do that. Like, I don't want to make money off of forcing products on people. And then the more I researched and everything, the more I learned, and, you know, once I'd reached out and found new remedies, I was just like, you know, I can't feel comfortable making money off of products like these. They claim to be cruelty free. They're not. They sell in China, and in China it's required by law that products be tested on animals. Which is kind of dumb, because they're like, okay, we're cruelty. They even publicly made, they're like, yeah, we're cruelty free, except we sell in China, so that's the only place we test on animals. I'm like, then they're not cruelty free. And they're like, but we're working with the Chinese government to get animal testing banned. I'm like, I feel like the most effective way to do that is just boycott China. Like, if everyone refused to sell in China until they got animal testing bans, like, China would be hurting, and they'd probably be like, okay, let's stop animal testing, right? Sorry, I'm getting some messages. And so I don't know. And then one of the real kickers for me too was when you go into the company, right, they're really big on, you know, like, don't give it a second thought, just jump in. What's the worst that could happen? What's the best that could happen? Going with this huge inventory order. And so the pressure was real, right, to get this inventory order, like going with a huge inventory. And I mean, you know, the pressure is real because my husband agreed to let me go in with a huge inventory order, and he's usually really, really, you know, financially conscious and stuff like that. And so I still owe him like $3,000 on his credit card for this. Like, and they also don't tell you, they give you this huge security blanket. They're like, it's okay if it doesn't work out for you in the first year, you can return your products at 90% of the cost you paid from, like, you've got the security blanket, like, you know, what could go wrong? And you're like, okay. And so then you go to return on that security blanket, right? And get your 90% back, which is whatever, like, they do honor that. But they don't tell you that if you try to leave, like, your upline has to return any sort of profit they made off you. And I'm like, okay, that's awful. Like, you know, if someone made like $500 off you, right, and then all of a sudden they had to return that $500, what if they paid bills with that? What if they put food for their family on the table with that money? Like, where are they supposed to pull that $500 from? Like, that's awful. I hated that. And I even, my director, and sent me this long message and stuff like that, which, I don't know, I want to believe she was just, you know, looking out for, you know, my future or something like that, but I don't know, it's easy to believe that there was ulterior motives in, you know, her trying to convince me not to return my inventory, right, because of, you know, the amount you have to pay back and stuff like that. And so then they, you know, they really heavily, like, tell you, like, okay, well, if you return your inventory, you can never return to the company, you're never allowed to sign up again, like, this is a big deal, blah, blah, blah. First off, I'm like, okay, fine with that, because I don't want to come back anyways. But second of all, I mean, I read some articles, they're like, yeah, no, if you run a re-enroll, and you're willing to go in with, like, a huge order and stuff like that, the company's not going to turn you down, so don't listen to that. And I don't know, I could just go on and on and on, guys. Biggest thing for me, ingredient quality. There's this third-party app called Think Dirty where it rates, and it's not biased at all. Like, you know, it's just honest. It rates all kinds of ingredients on a scale of 0 to 10. 0 is good, clean, you know, it's a clean product. 10 is, like, dirty, like, is sin, you know, like, all kinds of chemical toxic ingredients. Mary Kay products were consistently 8, 9, and 10. Like, they, it's bad stuff. I mean, they claim to hold themselves to a higher standard than a lot of U.S. products because they, you know, are passing the European Union and stuff like that, which is, like, all good and dandy, but, you know, you're still using these chemicals. Parabens are known associated, like, cancer-causing agents. The oil-free eye makeup remover, one of their best sellers, produces formaldehyde, which is a known, you know, carcinogen, stuff like that. And, like, these are proven, and, you know, unfortunately, one of the biggest problems is that the FDA doesn't regulate these products. But, I mean, you know, this company's been around for 50 some odd years. You know, it's supposed to be one of the founding direct sale companies. You know, you'd think they'd have their stuff together. I feel like they're just not relevant at all. They don't keep with the times. People more and more are starting to pay attention. You know, like, what am I putting on my skin? All these, you know, cancer diagnoses that are coming out. All these, you know, children's problems like birth defects and stuff like that. People being born with autism. People being born with Down syndrome. It's happening more and more and more. And so people more than ever are really starting to turn to, you know, like, what am I using in my household? How's it affecting my kids? How's it affecting myself, you know, and stuff like that. Like, organic, all natural, you know, pure products are, like, exploding. People are really starting to care about this. And Mary Kay just isn't doing anything to keep up with it. And so they give you all these scripts, like I said, that don't really pay attention to a customer's concern. Like, they, you know, they tell you what to say if a customer's like, oh, I don't have the money. And then they're like, okay, well, you know, if you're hurting for money, then you definitely need to sign up for this company, make some extra money. I'm like, well, if they don't have the money, if they physically don't have the money, like, how is that going to help them, you know? And it's like, oh, well, I can't afford any products to buy right now. It's like, okay, we'll just host a party. It's like, well, you know, sometimes the parties don't go so well, and you're not going to earn free products. Like, I don't know. Which I know, like, is a script that goes across a lot of, you know, direct sales companies. I don't know. I feel like a lot of the training you get and stuff, it just puts you in this mindset that you're, like, all that. Mary Kay's the end all. And, you know, you won't listen to anything bad about the company. You won't, you know, take no as answer from customers. And you just, I feel like you build your empire stepping on people and, you know, caring more about sales than you do about people and their concerns and their needs. And I don't know, I'm just really uncomfortable about that. I can't sell products that I'm not comfortable with. And Mary Kay claims to be, you know, one of these, like, breast cancer partner companies and stuff like that. And then they're turning around and they're selling products with known carcinogen ingredients. And then realizing that these products are controversial, so making entire training tabs saying, no, it's not controversial, you know, ignore any claims that you've heard that our products are bad, like, keep selling them. I don't know. I that really rubs me the wrong way. So, I don't know, there were a lot of and obviously I could go, you know, into stuff like that too, like the oversaturation, like, everyone and their aunt sells it, and it's just tough. And you get a lot of bad reactions, like you mentioned, like, oh, I'm with Mary Kay, and, like, instantly everyone's like, ugh, gotta get out of here, like, you know, screw Mary Kay. And I don't know, I feel like Mary Kay gives direct sales a bad rap, you know. I don't know, the consultants, obviously, you know, there's bad apples and good apples in every company, but I feel like the consultants can be so pushy and so insensitive and so money obsessed, and just, like, I get that a lot too, even with my new company. And, you know, people are like, oh, well, I don't trust direct salespeople. You know, I've dealt with a Mary Kay lady who blah, 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 blah. And I get that a lot. And a lot of times it's Mary Kay. And they can get so moody sometimes. I was at a vendor event and, you know, working Neil's Yard, and a Mary Kay lady was making the rounds and going to everyone's table and trying to promote her business, which is fine. I mean, you know, do you know, obviously you're making money, like, you know, this is your career, work on it. But she came up to my table, and, you know, and I was like, oh yeah, you know, I didn't want to bring up that I sold Mary Kay and that, you know, I didn't like the company. And so she was like, oh, I sell Mary Kay, what do you sell? I'm like, oh, I'm with Neil's Yard Remedies, you know, we do all organic skincare, we don't like chemicals and stuff like that. And she instantly was all like, oh, well, okay, if you ever decide to give Mary Kay a chance, you know, let me know. And I don't know, it was just, and I've been told personally by my director, like, she and I ended up working at same vendor event, and so she was doing her Mary Kay booth, I was doing my Neil's Yard booth, and there was a lady from Arbonne making some rounds, and she had talked about this product that I thought sounded pretty good. It was like this foot scrub or whatever. And so I went over to my, you know, director's table, and I'm like, oh, hey, did you talk to the Arbonne lady and everything like that? And my director was like, oh, yeah, you know, she gave me her info, I was nice about it, but, you know, I'm never going to buy from Arbonne because they're the competition. And I'm like, okay, well, that's, like, super close-minded. Like, you know, no one company is going to satisfy everyone's needs. I mean, like, no matter what company you're with, there's going to be one or two products that you don't love. You're going to, you know, find those products with another company or, you know, drugstore or whatever like that. Like, you know, no one company is going to be perfect for everyone. And so I don't know, I feel like that's super close-minded. Like, there's more to life than Mary Kay. You know, nothing's gonna kill you if you explore some other products. And just that mentality, I find that kind of across the board. People are just, you know, the type of training you receive and everything like that, it's like Mary Kay is life, you know. Don't, you know, if anyone talks bad about Mary Kay, like, shun them, shun the non-believer. I don't know. So, obviously every company has good and bad, but it left a really sour taste in my mouth. Again, still mad love to all my Mary Kay friends. I don't have anything against y'all. It's the company, mainly, that I don't like. I don't like the fact that they're resistant to updating their formulas to keep with consumer demands. They seem to be absolutely unconcerned with the fact that people want healthier products. And they're like, well, too bad. Just continue to shove these nasty products down people's throats and make money off of it. You know, that kind of thing. I did not appreciate it. I don't like the toxicity of the products. I don't like the fact that they're aware of the toxicity of the products and they're still just like, well, shut up and deal with it. I don't like the fact that your upline has to pay for you to leave. That's ridiculous. And just, I don't know. It was not a fun experience for me. I did not enjoy it. NYR is just set up so much better. Oh, and the inventory requirements were awful. I mean, you know, those monthly minimums, if you have a bad month, which is a lot of the times, you know, you've got to cough that money out of pocket or you lose your discount. And if you don't have your discount, then you're not making profit. I hate that. Those monthly minimums are awful. I mean, they should be a lot more forgiving and realize, you know, sometimes people aren't going to do great. You know, it's a tough market to do well in because there's 3.5 million Mary Kay ladies out there. And if you've got a pink Cadillac in your next door town, which I do, like, yeah. So, anyways, that was my blog post for the day, which was a vlog. I know it's incredibly long. If any of you watched all this, kudos. And again, I do want to end this with that disclaimer again. No offense to any of my Mary Kay ladies. I don't mean to attack any of you. I don't mean to talk bad about you guys in general. I'm more just upset with the company. I'm upset with the way it's run. I'm upset with their, you know, formulas. I think the company is just out of its time and it either needs to catch up and, you know, be a better, more ethical company, or, I mean, I don't know. I think Mary Kay is kind of, I don't know. So anyways, that was my post for the day. I just wanted to kind of go a little more in depth into why I left the company, the problems I have with it, and why I really don't recommend it for people. I don't recommend the products, and I don't recommend signing up. But again, I know some people, you know, have a really good business with it, and that's fine, you know, like, I know people can do really well with it. At the end of the day, it's like, you know, is that a company you want to do well with? I mean, are you comfortable selling these types of products to people, you know, after researching and, you know, seeing what kind of ingredients are used and the side effects they can have? And, I mean, even if someone comes to you and says, like, oh, no, I'm not interested in Mary Kay, you know, anytime I use it, it breaks me out. You're basically supposed to tell them, like, oh, well, we've updated our formula, so you need to try it again. And, I mean, I don't know how recently the formulas are updated. I mean, maybe they just tried it, like, a week ago. You never know. You need to listen to these people's concerns and not just take anything they say and turn it into, like, well, you need to do what I say. I don't know. I really don't appreciate that. But anyways, I think I've gone on long enough. I hope after 23 minutes of filming that this is going to work. So, hope you guys have a great day. If you have any questions, obviously feel free, I think there is a comment section, feel free to comment below. Feel free to personally message me. If you're a Mary Kay person, and again, this wasn't my intent here, but I have horribly offended you, I just ask, you know, please take that up with me personally. Don't just, you know, smash all over this blog post, because, I mean, that's obviously kind of not cool. This is just my personal experience, my personal opinion. I feel like it is shared by a lot of people, yeah, just take that up with me personally. I mean, going nuts all over my website is not going to help anyone. So yeah, hope you guys are having a great day. Hopefully this was informative to everyone, because I know I still get a lot of, you know, questions like, oh, why'd you leave? So this was just a little more in-depth, because on my public live Facebook video, I tried to obviously be very professional. I didn't want to, you know, sit there and throw any sort of company under the bus with that, or talk bad, or, you know, just seem negative or anything like that. So this is more on my private little website for, you know, people that are following me and everything like that. So I felt like this was a more appropriate place to share this video. But yeah, so I hope you guys are having a great day. Let me know what you think about this post. If you like the video format, comment below, let me know. And I hope to talk to you guys soon. Bye.